What's up, basketball fans? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today I'm breaking down my 2020 award picks. So what I want you guys to do is, as I'm making my picks, I want you to make your picks in the comment section below, because here on Chat Sports, we love being able to interact with all of our watchers, all of our subscribers. And the best way to do that is get in the comment section and start up some heated debates with your fellow Chat Sports watchers. So I'm going to start off here with the Rookie of the Year race, and I think this one is a runaway award deserves to go to Ja Morant, but there are some other really solid candidates. Kendrick Nunn, a huge surprise as Rookie of the Year candidate. Really, until Ja Morant turned a corner, he was in the lead there. Coby White of the Chicago Bulls has had a really impressive season, and the back half of the year, he was really stepping up for Chicago. Brandon Clarke, a guy who I loved around draft time, has helped this Memphis Grizzlies team get into where they currently are. And then I also had to include Zion Williamson, because although he only played in such a limited amount of games, the impact he had in those games was really just unprecedented. So I had to at least include him, but I probably have him at the bottom 5 of my top 5 candidates. Now let's talk about the winner, the guy who deserves the Rookie of the Year award. It's Ja Morant. It's plain and simple. The Grizzlies are fighting for a playoff spot. They are in the 8th seed right now as it currently stands. And since the voting for this award will take place and really be based on how it was played before they got into Orlando, Ja Morant's led this team to a playoff spot, something that nobody expected the Memphis Grizzlies to do. Not only does he do everything in the box score and really just provide for his team and run that offense, but he passes the eye test. I mean, this kid is so much fun to watch. One of the most electric players in basketball right now. If he's on TV, you got to turn it on. Now, he played at Murray State last year and put up big numbers, and people were always questioning, okay, well, Murray State competition isn't the NBA. Is it going to translate? And boy, did it translate. 17.6 points per game and 7 assists this year for the Grizzlies. Also pulling down about 3.5 rebounds. And the one question mark they had with his game was his three-point shot, and it worked perfect. He shot 36.7% from beyond the three-point arc for the Memphis Grizzlies. This kid's going to have a really long career. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. are going to be a ton of fun to watch in Memphis for a long time. And they got young guys like Brandon Clarke to play with. Now, here's a question I have for you, because I included Zion in my ballot, in my voting, but I'm not making him the winner this year. So here's the question. If Zion was healthy all year long, if he played all 82 games, well, I guess shortened, 66 games with the New Orleans Pelicans, and Ja Morant was playing, who would have won Rookie of the Year? So type your votes down below. You can either type Ja for Ja Morant or type Z if you think it would have been Zion Williamson. Look, looking at what Zion did at the end of that year, it's hard not to make the case for him. But Ja Morant has his team in the playoffs right now, and Zion is on the outside looking in. Now let's talk about the Most Improved Player Award. And my top 3 candidates here are Luka Doncic, Bam Adebayo, and Brandon Ingram. I think outside of that, you're kind of starting to stretch for some other guys, maybe some guys like Pascal Siakam or Jason Tatum, maybe SGA of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But these 3 will definitely be in the top 3 voting. And I'm going to put a little bit of bias aside here and go with the guy who I think deserves it. It's Brandon Ingram. Look, since Zion was out the entire year, Brandon Ingram got the chance to prove himself as a go-to player. He got a chance to prove why he was the number 2 overall pick just a few years back for the Los Angeles Lakers. It was him and Drew Holiday really leading the charge for New Orleans while Zion was down, and he took huge steps forward in his game. Not only did he just put up great numbers, he put up career-high numbers in every major statistical category. And when you compare what he did this year on the New Orleans Pelicans to what he did in the previous 3 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers, I mean, his case is really hard to beat. He went from 14 points per game from 2016 to 2019 up to 24 points per game. That's nearly an 11-point increase. He doubled his assist numbers from 2 to 4. He also averaged 2 more rebounds per game at 6.3 this year for the Pelicans. And not only was he doing this at, a big number, he wasn't just putting up big numbers, he was putting up these big numbers efficiently. 47% from the field and 39% from 3. I truly believe Brandon Ingram deserves this Most Improved Player award, and I think it bodes well for the New Orleans Pelicans, being able to have him and Zion Williamson hopefully for the long term. Now, Ingram is going to be a restricted free agent soon, but while he's in New Orleans, they should take advantage of it and make him the Most Improved Player as he truly deserves. Now, a few years ago and last year, Brandon Ingram was on the Lakers. If you want a Lakers jersey or you want any team jersey, get your favorite one now. they're up to 50% off. Now, not all of them, but most of them are up to 50% off on Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/NBA jersey, you can get your favorite team jersey for a great deal today. So go ahead and do that. We're going to make it really easy on you. We're going to put the link in the comment section and in the description, and it's right down there. I mean, you can see it on screen. So go ahead, open up a new tab, go to chatsports.com/NBA jersey for up to 50% off any jersey you want. Now let's move on to the Sixth Man of the Year award and who I believe deserves it. Again, this is a three-man race. I really don't think there are a bunch of options outside of these three guys that people will be voting for. You got Dennis Schroeder of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, both of the Los Angeles Clippers, both currently missing time for the Clippers. Hopefully they'll be back sooner rather than later. And they both had outstanding years. So let's talk about them here for just a minute. Lou Williams, obviously always in the running for it. I think eventually they're going to rename this award after him because he's won it so many times. He's putting up 18.7 points per game, dishing out nearly 6 assists, shooting better than 36% from three, while Montrezl Harrell is putting up 18.6 points per game and pulling down 7 rebounds, finishing 58% of his shots. Both of those guys are great. Both those guys are coming off the bench. Both those guys definitely deserve to be in the running for Sixth Man of the Year, but I'm giving it to someone else. I'm giving it to Dennis Schroeder of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He came off the bench this year behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chris Paul, but not only was he playing off the bench to start the game, he was coming in at the end of games in crunch time when Billy Donovan needed a win. This is who he was putting in. Now, just remember, just a few years ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder dumped Carmelo Anthony off to the Atlanta Hawks for Dennis Schroeder. They were like, you guys can have him. We're just going to hand him back to you. Well, now he's a key piece of a playoff team. If they didn't have Dennis Schroeder this year, I don't think the Oklahoma City Thunder would be in the NBA playoffs, and that's why he is my Sixth Man of the Year. If you take Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell off that Clipper team, they're still in the playoffs. They're still a top 3 team in the Western Conference. You take Schroeder off the Thunder, no way they're in the playoffs. He's putting up 19 points per game, dishing out nearly 4 assists, and grabbing nearly 4 rebounds per game. Also, his question mark of his game has always been his shooting, not this year. 38.1% from beyond the three-point arc for Dennis Schroeder. I'm giving him the Sixth Man of the Year award, and I think Oklahoma City Thunder fans would agree with me. I think a lot of NBA fans are going to disagree with me because they like Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell because that's the flashy name, but Dennis Schroeder deserves it. You take this guy off the team, they're not making the playoffs. So here's a fun question for you guys so you guys can interact in the comment section as you continue to make your votes for Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man, MVP, all the awards. Who is your favorite sixth man of all time? You got Lou Williams. You got historic names like Manu Ginobili. Mine personally is Jason the Jet Terry of the Dallas Mavericks. Won the award back in the day, and he was so much fun to watch off the bench. But, in the comment section, your favorite sixth man ever of all time. And as you continue to watch this video, I want to make sure you've subscribed because we've got a ton of NBA coverage coming up here on the Chat Sports channel. I'll be going live very, very soon to answer all your questions, do some live Q&A as the NBA season gets started, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So go to youtube.com/chatsportstv, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you're tuned in to all of our amazing NBA coverage as the season gets going again in Orlando, Florida. Now, some guys that can't wait for the season to get going again are these Coach of the Year candidates. Nick Nurse of the Toronto Raptors has his team at 46-18. I think Mike Budenholzer deserves to be right up there of the Milwaukee Bucks as they are the best team in the NBA in the regular season. Again, with the Oklahoma City Thunder, I got Billy Donovan up there because everyone was saying, they traded away Russell Westbrook. They traded away Paul George. The Thunder are going to tank. Nope. They're the 6th seed in the Western Conference. And I also have Taylor Jenkins of the Memphis Grizzlies up there because much like the Thunder, people were like, with Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, that's fun, that's young, but they're not going anywhere. They're not making any noise. Well, now they're in the playoff picture, and they just might make it. But the team who's been the biggest surprise and the coach who has led them there is Nick Nurse of the Toronto Raptors. Now remember, last season, we were watching with you here on Chat Sports as the Toronto Raptors won their first ever franchise championship. But the guy who led them there, Nick Nurse. That's why he won it last year. And this year he deserves it again because the Raptors lost 2 starters. They lost Danny Green and they lost Kawhi Leonard. Those are 2 really important pieces to a championship team. Everyone's like, they might fight for the 8th seed. Well, guess where the Raptors sit right now? Second in the Eastern Conference. Nobody expected to get them there, and Nick Nurse is the reason they are in that spot. Sure, they have some great players like Fred VanVleet. Pascal Siakam is a MVP caliber player now, top 10 MVP caliber player. Kyle Lowry is a good leader as on the court and in the locker room. And you got big men like Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. This team is not good enough to be where they are right now if Nick Nurse isn't the head coach. They were the biggest surprise of the 2019-2020 season. To get all the way to the number 2 seed is a huge shock and really a pleasant surprise, I think, for a lot of basketball fans to see a team like the Raptors get there. But who was your biggest surprise team of the season? Let me know in the comment section. A lot of good candidates. You got the Memphis Grizzlies. You got the Toronto Raptors. You've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. But who was your biggest surprise? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year, because this is a interesting award. This might be one of the tightest races in all of the awards. I put 5 candidates up here, but really I think it narrows down to 3 with Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. But I had to include Kawhi and Ben Simmons because those guys have both been great out on the perimeter. However, I'm picking one guy above the rest of the pack. The one guy who has led his team to the best record in the Western Conference along with LeBron James. It's Anthony Davis. This year he is 3rd in the league in blocks per game, and that's great because when you're a big man, you're supposed to lead the league or be close to leading the league in blocks per game. But he also is top 15 in steals per game, forcing those turnovers, being able to guard forwards and bigs out on the perimeter, and he is 2nd in the entire NBA in defensive win shares. That means he is doing the most on the defensive end to lead his Lakers to a W. So this is a big-time player who's making big-time plays on both sides of the floor. And I think if you have a team number 1 in the West, you got to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. You see what the Lakers have done as a team, and in large part thanks to Anthony Davis. They're 1st as a whole in blocks per game as they average 6.8. You got to think about guys like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard in there as well. They're 4th in the league in steals per game. They force so many turnovers all throughout the season. They're 2nd in plus-minus as they're beating teams by an average of 7.4 points per game. And they are 3rd in overall defensive rating at 106.4. And they would not be this high in all these defensive statistical rankings if it weren't for Anthony Davis. That's why I've got him as my pick for Defensive Player of the Year, with Giannis Antetokounmpo in there as a close 2nd. I think Rudy Gobert is probably closer to a 3rd place winner in this one. So as we continue to talk about our awards and you continue to make your picks down in the comment section, I want to remind you about this awesome deal at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/NBA jersey is going to get you up to 50% off any NBA jersey you want. So go check out that link. Go check out our friends at Fanatics. Save some money and rep your team while you do it. So we've broken down all the bigger awards. We've broken down Rookie of the Year. We got Defensive Player of the Year, Coach, Head Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. So what are we forgetting? Are we forgetting an award? I think MVP. That's right. All right. Now let me tell you who my MVP is this year. Now this 5, I think, will be the top 5 on the ballot. And let me say this before you all start freaking out in the comment section. This is in alphabetical order. I didn't want to give away my top 2 yet. So top 5 in alphabetical order: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, James Harden, LeBron James, and Kawhi Leonard. I'm leaving some guys off here that I know are probably going to make some people mad, like maybe a Russell Westbrook, maybe an Anthony Davis. Guys like that didn't make the cut. But in all reality, whereas most of these awards have been kind of 3-man races, this is a 2-man race. There's 2 guys that will be fighting for it when it's all said and done: Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James. Giannis is averaging 29.6 points per game, while LeBron is putting up 26 points per game. Giannis pulling down 14 rebounds as opposed to LeBron's 8 rebounds. Giannis, 6 assists. That is where LeBron has a beat at 11 assists per game, and Giannis is doing everything so efficiently at 55% from the field. And really, when you look at it, when you go even deeper, when you get into the advanced stats, everything points to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, the Milwaukee Buck, the MVP of the 2019-2020 season. I went to the advanced stats. This is what I found. Per 100 possessions. So if you gave Giannis 100 possessions and you gave LeBron the ball 100 times, look at these numbers. Give Giannis 100 possessions. He's scoring 44 points, pulling down 20 rebounds, dishing out 9 assists, and he has the best offensive and defensive rating in the NBA. So this year, the award goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He, of course, won it last year. I really think the only reason people would vote for LeBron is based on storyline. When you look at the numbers, everything points to Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the league in player efficiency rating, third in points per game, and third in rebounds per game as well. So those are all my picks. I gave you Giannis as MVP. I'm giving you Ja Morant as Rookie of the Year, Anthony Davis Defensive Player of the Year. I got Nick Nurse as my Head Coach of the Year, and Dennis Schroeder as my sixth man. So now that you heard them all and you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I want you to scroll down to the comment section and grade my picks. A, B, C, D, or maybe you just hate me, put an F in the comment section. NBA fans, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.